Have a little look at this then.
Your initial reaction to joining the club?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a bit of a whirlwind, but obviously once I knew that they wanted me, they've shown a certain hunger and desire to make sure that I become a West Ham player, and going to such a fantastic club was great for me. So
I remember this because it was like in Dubai. I got a phone call to say that Sam was interested in taking me to West Ham, and obviously I just had a real good season in the Premier League for West Ham, for Newcastle, scored 12 goals. But once I knew that West Ham wanted me and Sam was after me and what he was looking to do, it was a no-brainer for me. And as you can see, I come back from Dubai, and that's me in my first interview. And then, oh wow, I remember that second game of the season, Doncaster away, and it was just such a relief to get the first goal, really. So for me, like, getting that first goal was good, and then you can see I'm really absolutely giving it to the lads.
Corner comes in, heading to the back post, and it's a goal. Kevin Nolan.
I remember that game, obviously against Forest, and it's quite funny now because I live in Nottingham and that, and my lads at Nottingham Forest doing really well, and he was looking at that goal the other day, and I was saying just before, and Chris Gunter was giving me a load of grief, and we were having a bit of banter on, like, and you can see me as soon as I score, I go after him because he lost me and I scored the goal, and he was absolutely fuming. I think we were 4-0 up after about 20 minutes. We absolutely annihilated them, and that's what we could do definitely in that game, in that league, in that team, with that team.
The Gus Poyet way, but Brickott has got himself into a muddle there. It's Kevin Nolan, and West Ham lead.
When I'm pointing to me back, that was because I think just beforehand we'd had a corner or something happened, and one of the fans in the background was giving me a load of stick. So I just had to make sure that he remembered my name once I'd done that, and it's extra special because Harpo was in goal, and me and Harpo were really close when we were at Newcastle, and he'd obviously gone on loan there, and to score against him, he was absolutely gutted. But I remember seeing it because of the way they played out at the time. It was under Gus Poyet, wasn't it? And they played out, because I remember we'd done them about 6-0, didn't we, at home? And it was about the press, and when I got that opportunity, I nicked it off him. I really enjoyed this one against Derby, and as you can see, that was probably the first time the chicken had come out. I think it might have been, maybe. Might have come a bit earlier, but yeah, just seeing it all the way, and then once you've hit something like that, when you hit a ball and you just hit that sweet spot, and then you can just see it's going in all the way. The keeper's not gonna, doesn't have a chance of it. The chicken dance was obviously would come from my best friend. That's how he actually dances. So now when we're out and he's dancing, people think that he's taking the Michael out of me, but it's not how he dances. So it's quite funny when you see people just sort of thinking, why is his mate doing the chicken dance in the middle of a bar? But this is what I'm probably known for, this next clip. This one, just being that's what they used to call me, Johnny, in the spot, right in the, in the right moment, 2 yards out. What makes that quite special is that I think we actually flew to Dublin that evening for our Christmas do. So it's always nice when you have a good result.
I didn't realise I had so many mates. Have they all just come out for this big one? Of course, mate. You know how it is. Standard, Joseph, standard. Only got a big man now, and the big man coming in. Hang on now, I have to zoom that in. When the big men start ringing you for the big man. The big man.
So this is Joey O'Brien. I think he was given a camera.
The big men start ringing you for the
Actually, it says here, right. Ian Wright is one of my very good friends, and it's not the Ian Wright, it's Ian Wright from Liverpool. So, but obviously we were having a bit of banter because Joey was following us around with cameras. I actually forgot this is brilliant footage, because absolutely brilliant that you've got this out of the archive.
Just looking forward to a fantastic day, and believe me, it's going to be a fantastic night.
I don't know what that was all about. Well, I'm presuming that we were all on a night out after the game. And this is, you know, going up into Wembley when you know all them fans are there for you. It's like very emotional, but it's again just so like it's a proud moment. You know, you're absolutely buzzing, and then we get into the tunnel, and obviously you know you've done your warm up. You're out. You know what's at stake. You know that the Premier League's going to be. It's like 90 minutes away virtually, unless you've got to go into extra time, but you're thinking, no, we want to get it done. And it was such a privilege to be able to walk out a West Ham side and be captain. And when you get to that point, you're thinking, you know, this has got to be the day where we get up. This is what we've worked for all year round. You know, we've worked so hard. There's been 48 games in the season, and you're now down to just one game to get you back up. You knew that all the onus was on us. We'd beat Blackpool 4-0 twice in you know the league during the season, but we just knew that, you know, they had no pressure. It was all the pressure was on us. You know, we'd sold out our end and wanted more tickets. You know, Blackpool hadn't even sold out the full end, so we were trying to get there. And I remember, and we did get most of it because the fans were brilliant and they wanted to get in. And I just remember like the day. We started off quite slow and they were like really at it, and we rolled our luck a bit. But if there's one thing what I always said about that team and, you know, that year, is that we knew how to grind out things and we knew how to stick in there and keep going and doing it. And that's what, you know, Big Sam probably instilled in us as a squad and as a team, and, you know, why we got to go up first time, and then we stayed up in the Premier League the next season quite easily and with no problems. Matty Taylor, what a ball this is. Great take by Coley, and it's a great finish, to be fair, to get back. And I thought from here that it would go on, to be quite honest. I thought, you know, this is us now. You know, we can sort of, we'll go on to do this and beat them quite convincingly. But to be fair, they threw everything at us, and it was an absolutely fantastic goal from them, which they got early on in the second half, which swung the momentum a bit their way. And then, but I thought that, you know, we were, in the end, you know, you've got to do it at the right times. I remember this was coming up to another great ball by G-Mac, and I was saying earlier, when you hit something, you know, you just know that you've connected so well. And I think Matt Gilks, you know, didn't get the credit he deserved for this, because he actually gets the touch on it. I think if he doesn't get the touch on it, we're probably going to see one of the best, you know, finishes in, you know, up there with Dean Windas's, if you like. You can probably see by my reaction, I think once you've hit it, you're sort of thinking, I'm running off, and I'm thinking I'm doing the chicken in front of all the fans again. And I remember where my family was and everything else. So when we scored, which is probably coming up in a minute, when we scored, which I'll talk about, I knew exactly where to go. But that's, you can see, literally I am on course to just go and start celebrating with all them, because they were in a box just on the midsection.
Through and through, and we're still no closer.
But then this is me showing me pace down the wing, and then I see Coley, and that's a pass. You know, I seen him coming across, but oh, what a feeling that was. And you can just see, Vaz goes that way, obviously shows everyone that he's got a six-pack, and like loved himself that much that he wanted to show everyone that. All the lads go that way, I just went that way because it was just such elation to see the fact that with 90th minute we've just put a ball in the back of the net, and I just went to that side of getting quite emotional here, because, you know, I'd spent that whole season away from my family and everything else, so to spend it with them was brilliant. And then walking up, you know what, this was unbelievable. When I finally got there, I actually, you know, the way I just throw that about with one hand, and I'm just doing that, and I've got it with one hand. Let me tell you, that is a heavy cup, and I didn't feel it. You can see me, I'm just literally ragging it about. Oh, that boss, that I've never seen these. When you drop down a division and you've just had the season I had with Newcastle, and people are talking about you scoring 12 goals, why would you drop down? And I remember a lot of people give me a lot of stick, and this was the reason why. So it was sort of nice being able to stick two fingers up to people saying this is why I've done it, because I believe in what the progress of what we're going to do, and how Sam's going to take the club, and what we're going to be able to do. So that was the biggest thing for me. So to have that at the end of it all was such a relief, but absolute delighted that we got there in the end, and then we come to this.
How you realise that you two are, such kindred spirits?
I don't know, it's mad, isn't it, really? To be honest, I don't know, we obviously, we get on really well.
We got closer, I think, when I started scoring goals, and he thought that he could be my mate then. He wanted to be my friend then, but before, when I wasn't, I was sitting on the bench and stuff, and he didn't want to know us then.
Me and Andy were very close. We had a very close relationship on and off the field, and I think we were good. I think we were when he was fit, when we were at Newcastle, when we were flying, there was not many people who could handle us, and I think our record shows that. And when we were able to bring it back to West Ham, and I knew he was coming, he actually didn't ring me and tell me he was coming, which he thinks I'm daft, because at the time we had, I knew his agent, he was a very good friend of mine, and they were like not answering me. It was all like sort of rumours that he was coming back, and he was like going, I'm like, you're on your way or what? And he was like, nah, I'm not, mate, I'm going to go here instead or whatever. I'm thinking he's winding me up, and then when he turned out, it was such a, so nice to see him. As long, to be fair, that wasn't too bad.
Races and all things like that, and I think we should be able to speak to each other.
Mad seeing some of the faces, and even in these games, when you're playing against the lads, you look at it and everyone just gets so competitive. Look at me, I'm like absolutely scrapping with Sam Baldock, like nearly drowning him. Like, it's like, what am I doing?
It's up towards Carroll. Comes out to O'Brien and turned in by Nolan. Kevin Nolan, against his former club, has found the back of the net.
I didn't celebrate out of the fact that, come back. I was absolutely delighted. And Joey, I remember, he was giving me a bit, but I'd left Newcastle, and I've got a real, love for the club, and all the clubs who I play for, I've got, the special in my heart. And when I went back, it was nice. It was nice. It felt really nice putting that ball in the back of the net, believe me, and winning the game 1-0, and sort of. Stick a couple of fingers up to the owners for letting me leave, because I remember this year. This was my 8th goal of the season. Then I get my 9th and 10th. I end up playing on 10 goals, but we'd already had our player of the year do, and me and Andy had both been on 7, so we both got top goal scorer that year, which I'm not happy about. So we need to, erase that books. But yeah. Perfect tactic, left foot, right foot, and then a header. Not many people who can say they've done that in the Premier League. And yeah, you see, when I put it in with me head, the nice little relaxed chicken, and me just doing that. And I think I actually ran up to Sam, because he was giving us a bit of stick, because none of us had hit 10 goals, and I said, there's your 10 goals for the season, so you can't give me any stick no more. This is quite a sad one, what's going to come up next. A reason that is because of my last goal for West Ham. Again, Andy took an assist on that, he said. And this is probably nearing the end of my career at West Ham, really. But yeah, very emotional day this. Caught me by surprise, but absolutely brilliant memories, and thank you. And hopefully I'm going to have a lot more with what I'm doing now. Seriously, really enjoying it at the minute, and long may it continue. I want to be here for as long as I possibly can, and doing, and helping the team as much as I possibly can, and hopefully being as successful as we can. It was easy for me to say. So yeah, thanks guys.